Right, hello, greetings my friends. Welcome back to the DAW section of my channel. Now, as anybody knows who's been following this little journey, I'm having a close look at all 580 of the DAW yellow spines. We've done 500. This is the penultimate journey. I've got penultimate episode. I've got 80 to do. So I'm splitting it up into two sections of 40. So today we'll be looking at numbers 501 to 540. So let's go. Okay. This is the number 8 in the best fantasy stories. That's Michael Whelan, I believe. Right, a Moorcock 502. Not keen on that cover. Don't know who did it, because a lot of these artists are a little bit obscure and unknown to me. That's a chap called Walter Velez, whoever he might be. Okay, that's him. Okay, now, for some reason, most of Clifford Simak's books came at the end of the Yellow Spine run. I like Clifford Simak. I know a lot of people are a bit dubious, but yeah, that's actually Kelly Freeze. As I said a couple of videos ago, Kelly Freeze stopped doing, or rather, DAW stopped publishing books with Kelly Freeze covers on. Excuse me, and this is a return to form. So Kelly Freeze, as far as I know, all the Simak books are Kelly Freeze covers. Right, here we go with the, I think this is the 1983 version, the 18th book in the Gore saga. A pity about the small artwork, but that will be Ken Kelly. Size of that. Let's have some patience to read all that lot. Right, I don't know this chap, Arthur Landis. I think he did 3 or 4 Avalon books. Again, not sure that this is not in great condition, to be honest. Oh, it's Ken Kelly again. Wouldn't recognise that as Ken Kelly, to be honest, but there you go. Right, here is another one of those horrible covers. I mean, the books are all right. So that's the great SF stories from 1946, just after the Second World War. A lot of these later ones are in nice condition, so I can't grumble about the odd one that isn't. And this is, I should know by now because I've done 7 of these. This is by Olivero Burney, and the design is by 1+1 Studios. So I don't think much of your design. 1+1 video studio, whoever they are. Right, now, oh, this is a dear one. Very expensive one. This wasn't too bad actually, only because it's in less than great condition. As I say, despite you can barely see the red name there, but yeah, very, very popular book, presumably. I forget what I paid for it, but it wasn't cheap. I think the artwork's by Michael Whelan. I'll just check for you. Yeah, that's who it is. Nice cover. But a lot of these later books were fairly expensive, I have to say. I presume the print run went down. Who knows? Anyway, here we go with Humorous 27. And still it goes on. EC Tub. I think that's Ken Kelly, but again, I'll check for you. Oh no, it's Michael Mariano. I always get mixed up between those two. Interesting cover. Looks like Ken Kelly to me, but it's not. Okay, here we go with another one of the interminable series, Dre Prescott number 28. That'll probably turn out to be Ken Kelly and I haven't recognised it. Yeah, there we go. There's good old Ken. I was a bit worried in case it was, excuse me, Michael Mariano again. Right, Jack Vance, very popular entry into DAW books. 20 odd he did, I can't quite remember exactly. My brain's not what it was. But yeah, that's an interesting cover to live forever. Where are we now? 511, and that is by David Mattingly, who did quite a few covers latterly. 511. Okay, 512. Sharon Green, Warrior Enchanted. What's that? Cerulean 2. I think that was her only two books, the first one and this one. Might be wrong there, but I think that's the only two she did. I'd stake my life on that being good old Ken again. Yeah. So it is. Again, quite a hefty volume. Okay. Very popular, prolific author, Tanith Lee. Red as Blood. That's Don Mates, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not. Oh, right. Michael Whelan. I know Don Mates did a lot of her covers, or covers for her books, I should say correctly. Yeah, Michael Whelan. Full of surprises. Alright, another Clifford Simak. Kelly Freas again. No, I must say, not a book I've really heard of, but 514 and 515, Doris Besertia. Well thought of, this author. I think she did about 7 books for DAW and a couple under the pen name Kurt Selby. It's number 515 and... Surprise, Kelly Freas. Didn't quite look like him to me, but that's who it is. Right. Joe Clayton with Moon Scatter. That's Ken Kelly. Another thickish tome. And this is where you can see the inroads that Fantasy were making. What would this be? 1983. Yeah. Started in earnest, I suppose, when the yellow. Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming when I'm doing my video. Never mind. Yeah. As I say, this was the beginning of Fantasy making inroads, and when the yellow spines ended, fantasy kind of took over from SF. I noticed it in normal books. There was far less Silver Age authors being published. Golden Age, of course, but Ken Kelly. Okay. Edward Llewellyn, Prelude to Chaos. Quite a nice cover, that one, actually. Let's find out who did it. That would be Mr. Mattingly again, David Mattingly. Yeah, not a bad artist, him. Quite impressed. Right, where are we? 518. Stapleford, another nice cover. No, it's not part of his series. Anyway, yeah, that's, I think that's Michael Whelan, is it? No. A new author, in my experience, Douglas Chaffee. There you go, you live and learn. Right, here we go again. 1947 Variety. That's number 519. It looks even worse in black, actually. Probably one of the worst covers that that they did. And I won't even bother. We know who the artist and the producers were, whoever they were. And the 1983 Gore novel. Ken Kelly, of course, not that you could recognise it in that size, but that's who it is, folks. 520. Right, the second bundle. Should they don't fall over? Right. Fantasy, of course. I like this effect. You notice that the insignia up there is in white. There's a few of those, I don't know why. Yeah, these embossed covers are quite nice. Make the cover look good. Now I think this is by, if I remember correctly, another Cherry. Yeah, David A. Cherry. Now of course, she took the H off her name, or added the H to her name, and I assume that David Cherry is some relation, maybe a brother. I don't know. All right, Gordon Dixon, another one of the old faithful. Quite nice, actually. Presume that's Adolf, is it? Sure, maybe not. And that is by Paul Chadwick of Concrete Independent Comic fame. Very nice. Now, picking these Philip Dicks up used to annoy the hell out of me because I have them all in either Ace or Valentine, whatever. Secondly, they're darn expensive for some reason. And thirdly, I had to get them from America, which adds the post on, of course. So, some of these, they cost me 50, 60 quid, which is crazy for a book you already have. But, and it's, it's not in, the spine's nice, but, bit of crease there. But anyway, I digress. All these Philip K. Dick books were done by an artist called Bob Pepper, who had quite an interesting style, actually. Right, where are we now? 524. M.A. Foster. Haven't read any of his books. I'm not taking that sticker off because it'll make a nice mess. Artwork being by Michael Whelan. Naughty, naughty. Although it doesn't look like Michael Whelan, I've got to say. Okay, we have another fantasy. Marion Zimmer Bradley. This is, if I remember rightly, this is an anthology. Yeah. An anthology of various fantasy authors with a Victoria Poyser cover. Now, I don't know if I've come across any female artists for DAW. I can't remember. Maybe I'm dead wrong there, but off the top of my head, I can't remember any. Okay, here we are. Not much to be said about that, is there? Yeah, another. By Richard Hascox, who did a fair few covers for DAW. And good old Jack Vance again, The Blue World. That is number, I'm losing the light here, 527. And that is by our old friend David Mattingly again. Okay. These are some of my favourite DAWs because they've got some great stories in. That's by Vincent DeFate. Okay, number 529. Another Diadem Noah by Joe Clayton. I'm not going to tempt fate. It looks like Michael Whelan, but Ken Kelly. The guessing game at this point. Okay then, another Tanith Lee. Again, you got the white insignia up there with the collector's number, which is 530, and that will be our friend Victoria Poyser again. Right, good old Clifford. Cemetery World. Kelly Freeze. That's a nice cover actually. I like that. I like the reflection here. Very well done. Okay, here's another. I mentioned earlier that Sharon Green might have only done 2. Well, I'm mistaken, aren't they? Looks like she did 4 at least. Ken Kelly, I would guess. Yeah. Another massive one. Right. Another one of the dicks that annoyed me. Bob Pepper again. I mean, it costs a fair bit and spine's not great, Very annoying. Another one of the humorists. 5, 3, 4. Vincent DeFate. Oh, an unusual one for him. He normally does outer space stuff. David Lake, he did 1 or 2 books for DAW. I can't remember exactly how many. I'm not going to tempt fate by guessing at who did that one. Olivera Burney. Not familiar. Right, is the last few. The Black Collar, Timothy Zahn. I think that was his only DAW yellow spine at least. These people might have done a lot of books later on, but I wouldn't know once the yellow spines ended. That's Vincent DeFate again. And this was an interesting series. Best stories from Europe. Number 537. And Olivera Burney once more. Not bad. And a Bertram Chandler. I don't know if he did any other books for DAW. Yellow Spines. Can't remember. My memory is obviously fading. Ken Kelly, of course. Well, of course he did. Yeah, just forget everything I just said. Right, Gregory Kern, EC Tab, that is. He did a series of they were published during the Yellow Spine run. Cap Kennedy, but they had black spines, so they've been of no interest to me. Galactiad cover art is being Wayne Douglas Barber, I don't know. And last but not least, at the 540, we have another one of those nice embossed CJ Cherry jobbies. Again with the white insignia, and we end up with Michael Whelan. I'm failing to spot Michael Whelan these days, I don't know why. So, yeah, that is the 501 to 540 series. I'll be along very shortly with the final one, which I'll be glad to get out of the way. So anyway, thank you for comments, watching, subscribing, and I will see you very shortly. Bye bye now.